Hello everyone, welcome back to Automation in BeamNG Drive. My name is Tim, and today we're going to be building something a little special. Now, if you've ever heard of the Dymaxion car, also known as the Fuller Dymaxion, then I think you'd probably know what we're doing. We're making a car that is rear engine, front wheel drive. But instead of 100 horsepower like the Fuller Dymaxion, this thing's going to have more. We're obviously going to do rear engine in this thing. Everything's going to be steel, aluminum, and all that, and unfortunately, we cannot do rear engine front wheel drive. Automation does not want me to do that. Apparently, the game thinks, no, you can't do that, that's unsafe. And also, 400 horsepower. And yeah, let's see. We can do a 4x4, but what can we do with that? I'm trying to think, what can we possibly do? And wait a minute. I see power split. Maybe we could do something with that. If we get power split, we could possibly make it so that only the front wheels are actually traction worthy, while the rear wheels do absolutely nothing effectively. And, I don't know, let's get a differential on here, and ooh, there we go, and let's see, we're going to put whatever tires on here, radial, we're going to do sports compound, because I want this thing to get kind of good traction, not exactly the best, but also not exactly the worst. I want this thing to get some traction in the front, and also, I want this thing to be mildly drivable, just quote-unquote drivable, because as of making this, I don't know if this thing will drive, because, well, it's just an automation right now. I haven't tested it out in BeamNG Drive, but yeah, if BeamNG Drive is to go anything off of, I'm sure that this car is probably going to have some handling issues. Probably nothing like too extreme or really much. It's probably going to handle like worse than my regular cars. It's not going to be like the Tectonic 0.05, which that is its top speed. And that vehicle, anytime I start it up in BeamNG Drive, it literally explodes. I'm not even joking when I say that. It explodes whenever I start up. And yeah, we're about done with the wheels. And now, let's go on to the differential. As you can see, all-wheel drive, that gives us some changeability. We'll put it up to 80% power in the fronts, 20% in the rear, and those rear tires, they basically get no traction. Like, I'm fairly certain my bike tires are wider than that, because I recently bought new tires for my bike, and no joke, they might actually be wider than that, because my bike tires are, I want to say, like 45 millimeters wide, because it's a mountain bike, and those right there are, yeah, those are 85, so yeah, those are almost twice as wide as my bike tires, but yeah, from far away, they do not look wide at all. That's all I'm saying. And also, we're going to do whatever's good for aerodynamics. I don't care about fuel economy in this thing. This thing could get 0.08 miles to the gallon, and I wouldn't care, because at the very least, it would be able to do one lap around a track. It would have just enough fuel to do a one lap around the Hirochi Raceway, and we're going to give it some okay safety, okay interior. We're going to make it heavier because why not? Put the weight more towards the rear. Nice. Very, very nice. And what do we have here? We got suspension. We're going to do standard, twin tube, passive, and after that, we're probably just going to do some more tire modification in order to make sure, you know, they look the same from a side view. But when you look at the back, you realize, why are the tires so thin? Yeah, 110, we're getting a flashing red exclamation mark. We can do 100. Nice. And if we make them slightly skinnier, we could possibly do a little more. We could possibly do something worse. Like if we make the rims larger. And we could, but yeah, I don't exactly think that's a good idea. 85 seems a bit extreme, and yeah, I'm not sure if we're actually going to keep it like that. I want the rims to be the same size. That's what I've come up with. I want the rims to be the same size, and I want, yeah, you know what? Maybe we could make the rear tires slightly larger so they can be thinner. And also, I love how absolutely no one bought this thing. Absolutely no one did. And yeah, I'm right now modifying the tires some more. Yeah, keep in mind, I was super indecisive on what I wanted for the tires. I wanted to make them undrivable, but I also wanted to make sure they got enough traction and make sure they didn't explode upon the car moving, because keep in mind, power still does go to the rear wheels, just not a lot. Okay, we'll lower the suspension, increase its quality, and now on to fixture time! We're gonna paint the car this beautiful red, and if you saw the grille for that split second, that grille is actually supposed to be inspired by the BMW Z8, which is a car that I've never seen before, but I can admit is a really cool looking car. And also, we're gonna give this thing... yeah, it's called the Z8 Clown Shoe. I decided that's what it should be called because, well, it kind of reminds me of the Z8. And also, it's shaped like a clown shoe. One of those clown shoe M5 Touring or M3 Touring. I don't remember which one it was. Sorry to the BMW elitists who I may have offended because of that. But yeah. We're making the interior right now. It's going to be red and gold, which I think is a beautiful color combination. It's going to have a manual transmission, a beautiful dashboard made with a whole lot of stuff. And now, here it is. Oh, it's beautiful! The rear isn't as beautiful as the front, but I can admit, overall, this is a pretty good-looking car. It's awesome, it's cool, and now we're going to be taking it to BeamNG Drive. Since it's in BeamNG Drive, and oh, okay, yeah, it definitely has some traction problems in the rear. I cannot take it much above 80 miles per hour. I think the top speed this thing ever reached, 88. So, yeah, it's just capable of being a DeLorean. And also, I'm fairly certain this thing will handle well around a track. I'm so positive about that. It struggled to go in a straight line, but hey, maybe this thing is phenomenal around the corners and all that. And yeah, once we pass 5,000 RPM, this thing becomes basically uncontrollable. Yeah, it becomes so difficult to drive. And keep in mind, right now, I'm actually trying to drive it right now. I'm actually genuinely trying to steer it right now, and it's basically impossible. But also, something I will say, I feel like I did a pretty good job with the interior. It's beautiful. The doors are a bit flat, though, which is a tiny problem for me, but hey, at the very least, it's red and gold, which I think is a really good color combination. Like, I feel like red is one of the few colors that actually looks good with gold. Like, black and gold looks pretty decent. Blue and gold looks pretty decent. Orange and gold, not exactly. I think orange goes better with, like, silver or something like that. Nah, I think, actually, now that I think about it, orange goes better with something like cast iron or something like that. Like, just something about that mentally sounds right to me. And now, let's go to the racetrack! Now, today, instead of going around the Hirochi circuit, we're going around the Automation racetrack. This track right here. It's a pretty beautiful track, has some wonderful scenery, a big old hydroelectric dam. And let's see, 3, 2, 1, let's go! Let's go! And oh my, yeah, I'm struggling to keep this thing in a straight line. I'm actually trying right now. And yeah, spin out number 1. Yeah, I'm gonna have a counter for the number of times we spin out or just crash on this. And I don't know, maybe I might count how many wheels we lose just in case. And also, I'm just scared to accelerate right now because what happens if we spin out again? Then we'll spin out again. Then we'll spin out again. And then we'll spin out again. It's horrible. We can't spin out. So far, we've done it once, and I hope we don't do it again. Just please, no, we cannot spin out anymore. Okay, we passed the 4th of 18 checkpoints, and we've been racing for almost a minute. I think this is going to take a little while, and yeah, it's going to take a while. I do love that we can see the hydroelectric dam there. It's super awesome looking from here and from outside the car, and that's spin out number 2. Oh my. And I love how this thing can just casually do 4-wheel burnouts. That's awesome. Like, okay, the reason it does that is because the rear wheels have, like, no traction. and the front wheels have almost all of it. So yeah, that's gonna happen. And you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe this thing might be able to work if I used, like, a much less powerful engine. Like, you know, something like the K66 GT engine, which only makes 63 horsepower. Yeah, I feel like that engine would probably work a whole lot better in this because it doesn't make that much power. And also, this car handles so badly that it drives better backwards. I'm not even kidding. Like, this thing is so terrible to drive forward that the only actual gear you want to go in is reverse. And hopefully I don't crash. And to be fair, I don't drive in reverse enough to actually have a hang of this. So, yeah, we're probably not going to do all that good. Now, one bright side about this car that I can find is, well, the engine sounds pretty good. It's a naturally aspirated 6-liter V8 that makes about 400 horsepower, and it makes quite a lot of torque. I think it makes like 500 pound-feet of it, which probably was not the wisest decision because, yeah, torque steer is a thing. And, yeah, to my knowledge, I don't think putting a high-torque engine in the trunk of a car that's front-wheel drive is a good idea because, you know, torque steer, I don't think that's a good idea at all. And, yeah, we're back inside again. Now we're not. And, yeah, we're just going to continue racing this way. And, wow, that is just slow. That is disgustingly slow. I cannot fathom just this. Like, I'm not even joking, my car would do better than this. Probably because it can go over 49 miles per hour. It probably couldn't do that in reverse, but it can do over 49 miles per hour forward. And also, you know, it's not rear-engine front-wheel drive because, to my knowledge, I think, like, the Fuller Dymaxion was, like, the only rear-engine front-wheel drive car ever made. There was probably a few other concept experiments before people realized just how bad of an idea it was. And yeah, that's probably the reason why we don't see it anymore. And so far we're doing okay. We have not spun out. We've only done it 3 times. Good. And yeah, we did not spin out. We just hit a corner. We just hit the tire on that little ledge. And oh my. Yep, that's 4. That is 4. We've spun out 4 times, and we've been doing this for like 4.5 minutes, which I'm guessing the other people who did this track, yeah, that's 5 times. We've spun out again, and we were like stationary, which is extra sad to think about. And this thing is just a horrible vehicle to drive, but it does look phenomenally cool. That's something I will say. The wheels don't look cool when you look up close at them, but the car itself looks pretty cool. And, best of all, we only have 6 more checkpoints to go. Yay! Oh my. This thing handles so terribly that I cannot muster enough excitement to go through 6 more checkpoints in this thing. And that's 6! We spun out again! Oh no! This thing handles like garbage and I can barely do anything about it because I designed it this way. And yeah, let's just say the rear is not doing too good. It's a bit dented up. I think that's safe to say. And that's 7. We spun out 7 times. Can we get 8? Maybe 9? Okay, that's 8. Lovely. Now we gotta drive in reverse more, which is insane, because I'm fairly certain race cars aren't supposed to do just driving in reverse 80% of the time. But, yeah, this is just terrible. Absolutely horrible right now. Now, let's continue with our driving, because, in all honesty, I'm fairly certain it just gets worse from here. There's a couple more turns we have to go down, and that just sounds miserable. I can only think of just how many more times we're gonna spin out, and 8. That wasn't really much of a spin out, but it still counts to me. We've spun out 8 times, and just, yeah, I have to be gentle on the gas. I wish I had one of those steering wheels. And 9. Nice. Can we reach 10? If we can reach 10, that's probably in all honesty going to be a massive record for times we've spun out. And please don't. And that's 10. I'm guessing we're probably going to reach 11. And you know what? I give up. We're driving in reverse now. That's what we're going to do. We're going to drive in reverse. I'm tired of spinning out. I don't want to do it anymore. And luckily, we have one more checkpoint. Just one more checkpoint! One more. That's all we have. Just one more checkpoint. Just, can we please make it to the end in... I don't even know how long we've been doing this. Feels like forever. Like, how long have we been doing this for? Because I don't even know at this point. And 7.5 minutes. That is almost as long as Star Child by Winter Sun. That is embarrassingly slow. And I cannot fathom to you just how slow that is. Like, the other time was like 3.5 minutes. This took almost 8 minutes to do a single lap around that. And yeah, unfortunately, I have to drive this. And also, if you're wondering, no, I am not doing a drag test with this car. This car is already a headache enough to control that it just sounds, in all honesty, miserable. It sounds like a miserable, hellish experience to drive this thing down 400 meters of straight track, which in any other car would be a breeze. In this, it would be an absolute nightmare, unless we're doing it in reverse. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm actually going to try and time how long it takes us to go a quarter mile in reverse, because in all honesty, that's probably our best bet for actually doing a quarter mile. Now, what we're going to do is just a little bit of casual road driving. We're just going to drive this thing down the road like it's a normal car, and wow, this thing is just... It looks so weird. Having to drive this in reverse, I just hit a tree, nice. And the one good thing about this, the interior is beautiful. That's all I have to say. The interior is beautiful, and that's mainly why I like this car. I like it because its outside looks cool and its interior is beautiful, but I also don't like it because it drives like garbage. Maybe I might make an all front-wheel drive version of this thing that, you know, actually drives, because the engine will be placed up front like a normal car, or better yet, it'll be rear engine, rear wheel drive, like, you know, the old Porsches. And now, let's drive it backwards at a blistering breakneck 49 miles per hour. Oh my, we're going so fast. Like, I don't even think we can break the speed limit, all things said, because I think that sign said like 100, which I'm going to take a guess are kilometers per hour, and that's like 62 miles per hour. So yeah, we cannot reach that, and just, oh my. Why did I get the horrible urge to take this thing off-roading? Well, I got that urge, and we're going to do it. We're going to take this awful, horribly handling thing off-road. We're taking it into the dirt, into the land of non-existent handling. Off-road. And just this thing, why did I do this? It makes me think of all the good things I could have done instead. I could have made it front-engine, front-wheel drive. I could have made it rear-engine, rear-wheel drive. But no, I decided to do the most dangerous driving setup possible because I'm stubborn like that. I'm stubborn, and once I get a moment of thinking, I decide that's what I want to do. I don't think, no, I want to make something that's actually good and drivable. I thought to myself, no, let me make garbage. Let me make utter trash that can't be controlled but looks nice. That is what I wanted to do, apparently. And it's insane. Why did I do this? I cannot answer why at this point, because I'm seriously questioning why I did this. And overall, the car is actually surprisingly decent off-road for a front-wheel drive car. And actually, I'm just kidding by that. Most front-wheel drive cars, at the very least, don't spin out whenever they go off-road. And, you know, don't have to be driven in reverse 24/7. You know, they can be driven like normal cars. You know, it's because the engine isn't acting like a pendulum behind the rear wheels. Yeah, that's probably the entire reason why. And just, this thing, it struggles so much with doing anything that it's basically a crash magnet. Like, this thing's trying to kiss a tree. No, you can't kiss a tree. You're gonna scratch your beautiful red paint. Or, from what some of you guys might be seeing, it looks a little orange. It's like reddish orange. I think the automation paint color, like their version of red, might be having some issues, because I remember coloring one of my cars in automation red, and it came out black in BeamNG Drive. I don't know why, but, well, it's interesting, and it's something I don't exactly know how to fix. But anyway, back to the driving. As you can see, we're making tons of smoke clouds. Like, yeah, this thing would make a good drift car. A good drift car if you want to die. But it would not make a good everyday car, despite it being a hatchback or wagon or whatever the clown shoe BMWs are. Because I want to say they're estates or something like that. I want to say they are, but I feel like that would be wrong. Because I feel like an estate is like mainly a four-door type vehicle and not, you know, a hatchback coupe type vehicle. It's usually not like that. And yeah, it baffles me why I even made this. It makes me sad thinking that there are so many better things I could have made. But no, this is what I wanted to make. I wanted to make this because I really, really do not like making good cars for some reason. Sometimes I make good cars, and other times I make uncontrollable garbage like this, because I just want to, apparently. And yeah, we're just gonna go up this hill, and in all honesty, we're gonna end the video, because just, I do not want to drive this car anymore. This car makes me miserable to drive. It is a soul-crushing experience to drive this car, and I'm not even exaggerating with that. Like, I feel like my soul is leaving my body the more I drive this thing. So, I have to change it to an actually good car. That's right, the Turbine Thrasher wagon is back! This time, with the beautiful 3.8-liter V12. And it's a true all-wheel drive, none of that Frankenstein crap the other car had. And just look at it. It's beautiful driving down the road. It's beautiful on the outside, beautiful on the inside. The engine is beautiful. And best of all, the engine is reasonably placed. It's not placed in the rear. And as I said earlier, it's all-wheel drive. That means it's phenomenal off-road. Like, look at how it's handling right now. Okay, the reason it's not handling as good is because I went into some rocks, and that's a little problem. And yeah, I want to go up there to that ramp area. I want to go up there. And I love how this car can just stick to the ground like a frog or a chameleon. No, not a chameleon. Why did I say a chameleon? Like a moth, like how a moth sticks to a wall. I like how the car is basically capable of doing that in like grass on the side of a mountain. It's pretty cool. And I've never been up here before. I wonder what's up here. Oh, just some rocks and mountain. Just... Why did I want to go up here? There's a big old valley back there, but that looks pretty cool. It's probably just a lot of empty space that's like bumpy and not really drivable, which is sad. We got stuck, but yeah, now we're not stuck anymore. And wow, we're high up right now. It just... Okay, let's flip over. Nice. We'll reset the car. And now, we're just gonna go backwards, because I've been driving backwards way too much in this video, and... Oh no. We crashed in the good car. That is not good at all. That is not good at all. We're only supposed to crash in the bad car, not the good car. This car is supposed to remain in pristine condition forever. The other car, we can crash. And, ooh, nice! I do like viewing this car in, like, third-person free cam or whatever it's called. I think it's pretty cool when you do that, because I feel like it actually changes the sound slightly. Makes this thing sound more like a Formula 1 race car. And, well, here we go. We're going under the dam to slide down the water slide thing. And, oh, that tunnel. I'm actually, like, genuinely curious. What is in that tunnel? Where does it go? But, well, I'm just gonna go here and, yeah, just contemplate my choices. Okay, I've decided we're going in the tunnel before we actually end the video. We are going in the tunnel, this time with the crappy car, because I want to make this video, and I want to make my driving experience as terrible as possible down this tunnel. Like, right now, we could have been going like, oh, we hit it, oh, we did it, 100-something miles per hour, nice, 140, oh wow, that's awesome, and, oh. We just crashed into a wall, sustaining, yeah, that's a lot more than I expected, but hey, at least we still have all four wheels. That's the bright side. And, oh, this is where it went. I thought it would go somewhere cool, like, I don't know, into the water or something, and yeah, we're just at the bottom of the hydroelectric dam. Pretty neat. Looks like one of our axles is literally sticking through the wheel. That is just horrible, and just wow, this thing, it drives terribly. And now, let's take it back up to the dam, and this time, we're actually going to end the video, because this car needs to be put out of its misery. This car is that bad, and no, we're not going down that one. I don't want to go down that one. Ooh, this one looks nice, and hey, the car actually slid into proper position. Nice. And, well, let's say goodbye to our reservoir. And, well, it's a beautiful car and all. It sounds nice, but it drives terribly. Anyway, let's go! Okay, we can do it, and... oh, I am extremely disappointed with that. That was disgustingly anticlimactic. I feel like I've scammed you guys because of just how anticlimactic that was. Just why? Okay, we did a cool U-turn drift burnout, whatever that was up there. Crashed the rear again. And anyway, that's all. Bye! Here's a quick run down the drag strip, just in case, because maybe this thing might handle well. I'm not even gonna lie, 14 seconds isn't even that bad for something that handles this poorly. Anyway, that's all for real, and have a wonderful day.